Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Short-handed Golden State Warriors aim for back-to-back wins against New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans are looking to apply what they've learned as they aim to split their two-game series against the Golden State Warriors on Wednesday night in San Francisco. Buddy Hield, Brandon Podziemski, and Moses Moody, all starting for the Warriors for the first time this season, scored a total of 64 points on Tuesday. Their performance helped the Warriors come back from a 20-point deficit to win 124-106 in the first game of this back-to-back series. Best video game consoles playing the same opponent in consecutive games is uncommon for most NBA teams, but it's familiar territory for the Pelicans, who faced this situation last week against the Portland Trail Blazers. In that instance, after losing 105-103 on Friday, the Pelicans saw the Trail Blazers win 125-103 on Sunday. Now, the Pelicans find themselves in a position to seek revenge, something Zion Williamson is eager about. "That's the beauty of the NBA," he said after Tuesday's game. "Sometimes you get to see the team again the next day or 2 days later. Other times, you've got to wait. But you always get another shot at it." Williamson scored 31 points and Brandon Ingram added 30 for the Pelicans, but they were responsible for 10 of the team's 24 turnovers, with Williamson committing 7 of them, just one less than the Warriors' total. This allowed the Warriors to make 23 more shots, even though they had a lower shooting percentage of 54.1 compared to New Orleans' 47.4. Golden State finished with 6 more field goals than the Pelicans in the game. The Warriors had 12 more three-pointers than the Pelicans, making 21 out of 46 attempts from long range, which is 45.7%. With Stephen Curry out due to an ankle injury, Buddy Hield led the three-point shooting with 7. Moses Moody was 5-for-6 from beyond the arc, scoring 15 of his 17 points. Despite missing Andrew Wiggins and DeAnthony Melton due to back injuries, the Warriors showed better depth in their victory. The Warriors' 8 bench players scored 54 points, while the Pelicans' 7 backups managed only 30. Lindy Waters III, who had not played much in Golden State's first 3 games when the team was at full strength, got 31 minutes of playing time on Wednesday. He responded well with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Warriors coach Steve Kerr said he wasn't surprised by Waters' performance. "I've said it since day one of camp, this guy's a ball player," Kerr noted. "The game flows when he's out there. It's not just because he's a good shooter, he's a good basketball player. It's the shots that he doesn't take because of his patience, it's the cuts that he makes to the basket, it's getting into the fight defensively. From day one of camp, this guy has been one of our best players, frankly. Couldn't get him out there until Tuesday. I'm just happy to have this kind of depth for nights like tonight where we're missing 3 guys, and it will pay off big time for us over the course of the 82 games." How Draymond's halftime message sparked Warriors' comeback win. While several Warriors players who lit up the stat sheet will get the credit for Tuesday's 124-106 win over the New Orleans Pelicans, a halftime speech from Draymond Green might have been the actual catalyst for their comeback at Chase Center. Trailing 51-47 once the second quarter buzzer had sounded, Green's message to Golden State was clear: apply pressure, and good things will happen. "The first half, we came out kind of sluggish," Warriors guard Gary Payton II told NBC Sports Bay Area's Zena Keita after the game. "The second half, Draymond challenged us to come out and hit them first. We could see in that second quarter what happens when we attack and be aggressive, things start to shift our way. Draymond knows this team very well, and once we put pressure on them and make them make quick decisions, bad things happen and good things tend to happen for us." The Warriors struggled in the first quarter, and the Pelicans took an early 31-14 lead entering the second. With Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and DeAnthony Melton all sidelined Tuesday with injuries, it seemed like the game might be a lost cause. But the Warriors outscored the Pelicans 110-75 over the final 3 quarters, and after Green's message held a 22-point advantage over New Orleans in the second half, thanks largely in part to Buddy Hield's 25 points in the third and fourth quarters on 8 of 10 shooting with 6 3-pointers. Brandon Podziemski, 19 points, and Lindy Waters 21 points, were Golden State's other top scorers. Green, meanwhile, finished with 3 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds as a +15 with one very important locker room address. "It all starts with Draymond," forward Jonathan Kuminga told Kata. "Draymond came into the locker room and told all of us they're looking good right now, but once we put pressure, they're all going to fade. And that's the same thing that happened. You saw it. We all came out here with one mindset, just putting pressure on defense. He said, as long as we put pressure on defense, the offense will be easy. So that's what we came out here and did." Green's veteran leadership was on display in the Warriors' third win of the 2024-25 NBA season, only reinforcing how important the 4-time champion is to Golden State's success. And as Green and company seek a return to the NBA playoffs, moments like his speech tonight certainly could help them achieve that goal. Utah Jazz mailer: Are the Warriors interested in Walker Kessler? Welcome to the Utah Jazz Inbox, where today we explore the recent trade rumors surrounding Walker Kessler and the Warriors. Every week, we'll send out a prompt on X asking you about the questions you have about the Jazz. Then we'll respond to as many as we can in that week's inbox and on the Jazz Notes podcast. Walker has been impressive. Do you think the Jazz would trade him to the Warriors, considering he's young and we have the pick of 27 of them? With complete transparency, these questions were sent on Monday, hours before Jazz forward Taylor Hendricks suffered a broken leg and dislocated ankle in the team's loss to the Dallas Mavericks. With that in mind, it's important to address how Hendricks' injury could change some of the Jazz's short- and long-term plans. Losing Hendricks is a destabilizing factor for the Jazz's entire season. The second-year forward had earned a starting spot, and maximizing his reps and development was a high priority for the team this year. After losing Hendricks, the Jazz will have to re-examine how their 26 minutes should be allocated and how that relates to each player on the team's roster. The ripple effect could cause the Jazz to be more aggressive in moving their roster around, or it could force them to step up and take a more conservative approach to team building for the rest of the season. If the Jazz see this as an opportunity to dedicate more developmental minutes to fewer players, Kessler's value could move up the team's priority list. If the Jazz determine this is a lost season, they may opt to move further into the rebuild by maximizing asset acquisition, in which case they may be more willing to move their starting center. With Hendricks' injury still fresh and the season still early, it's difficult to predict where the team will go. Now, if we approached Kessler in isolation and ignored Hendricks' injury, this would become an interesting conversation. The Athletic's Jovan Buha reports that Kessler is a name the Warriors have tested in the past and, with his promising start to the year, could be someone they revisit this season. The Jazz were reportedly seeking 2 first-round picks in exchange for Kessler this offseason, but were excited about the center's development in the early parts of the season. The question then is, do the Jazz view Kessler as a long-term solution at center, or would they prefer to sell the third-year center at a premium? And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Walker Kessler? Leave your opinion in the comments.